Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak directly to your heart today. I want you to imagine something powerful that just 6 months from now, your life can be unrecognizable in the most beautiful way, not because of luck, not because of chance, but because of asterisk choice asterisk, because of commitment, because of asterisk asterisk, you asterisk asterisk. You see, too many of us are living beneath our potential. We're waiting for a sign, for the perfect moment, for everything to line up just right. But let me tell you something. The perfect moment is asterisk asterisk now asterisk asterisk. Right here, right now, this is your wake-up call. This is your sign. You don't need another year. You don't need a decade. You need asterisk asterisk 6 months asterisk asterisk of fire. 6 months of focus. 6 months of believing with all your heart that you were made for more. I'm not telling you it will be easy. I'm telling you it will be asterisk asterisk worth it asterisk asterisk. 6 months of discipline, of rising early when the world sleeps. 6 months of reading when others waste time. 6 months of sweating, pushing, climbing when everything in you screams to quit. 6 months of showing up, even on the days you feel like nothing is changing. Because it is. Every single step is changing you. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be asterisk asterisk persistent asterisk asterisk. You don't need all the answers. You need the courage to start. I know it's scary. I know you failed before. But failure isn't the end, it's the classroom. It's the training ground for your comeback. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are asterisk asterisk possibility asterisk asterisk. You are strength, and I believe in you even if you don't believe in yourself yet. I dare you to give yourself 6 months. 6 months of clarity. 6 months of relentless effort. 6 months of saying no to distractions and yes to purpose. Build that business. Get in the best shape of your life. Repair what's broken. Learn that skill. Chase that dream. Whatever it is, go after it with everything you've got. Because the next 6 months will pass whether you act or not. But if you act, if you pour your soul into this, you'll look back and be amazed. You'll look in the mirror and say, I did it. I changed. I rose. I became the person I was always meant to be. So stand up. Shake off the excuses. Light that fire in your belly. You have what it takes. You were made for greatness. 6 months, just 6 months. That's all it takes to transform your life if you decide that today is the day. Let's go. Start now, not later. These 4 simple words hold the power to change everything in your life. Most people delay their dreams, their goals, their transformation because they are waiting for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect conditions. But the truth is that perfect time will never come. Life doesn't wait. Time doesn't pause until you feel ready. The world keeps moving, and if you don't move with it, you'll stay stuck in the same place, wondering where the years went. The illusion of someday is the thief of progress. It convinces us that we can begin tomorrow, next week, next month, but tomorrow isn't guaranteed. What you do have is this moment, and this moment, right now, holds the seed of change. When you decide to begin now, you make a powerful declaration to yourself and to the world that you are no longer a prisoner of hesitation. You are no longer held back by fear, by doubt, by uncertainty. You are choosing to rise above excuses and take full control of your destiny. Most people never get started because they feel like they need everything figured out. They think they need the perfect plan, the perfect resources, the perfect mindset. But that's not how transformation works. You build the bridge as you walk across it. You learn the path by walking it. The knowledge, the growth, the confidence, they come asterisk after asterisk. You begin, not before. Think about all the time you've spent waiting for motivation, for support, for a sign. Think of all the days, weeks, and months that passed by with that quiet voice in your head saying, one day I'll start. That one day becomes 1 year. That year becomes a chapter of regret. But what if you flip the script? What if instead of waiting, you decided, I start today, I start now. No matter how small the step, I will take it. That simple act of beginning can create a ripple effect that transforms everything. Starting now doesn't mean doing everything all at once. It doesn't mean being perfect from day one. It means taking that first honest, courageous step in the direction of your goals. Action creates clarity. When you start, even when it's messy or unsure, you learn what works and what doesn't. You begin to understand yourself better. You gain confidence by doing, not by overthinking. You gain momentum by movement, not by waiting. Momentum is magic. Once you build it, it becomes easier to keep going. But you can't build momentum if you never take that first step. That step might be writing your goal down, reaching out for help, starting the workout, creating the budget, turning off the distractions. It might feel small, but it's not. It's everything. That first action is you claiming your power back from procrastination. We often convince ourselves that we'll be more ready later, that we'll feel more confident or more equipped. But the truth is, readiness is a myth. Confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you earn through action. You become more ready asterisk because asterisk you start. You become stronger asterisk because asterisk you do the hard things, even when you feel unsure. Every great achiever, every success story you admire, began before they felt fully ready. They took the leap. They stepped forward into the unknown, into the discomfort, into the challenge. And because they started, they grew. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is simply a matter of decision. The decision to start. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need the courage to say, enough waiting, enough hesitation, I go now. If you truly want change, if you truly want to rise, to live with passion, with power, with purpose, then there is only one time that matters. Asterisk now asterisk. Let others keep making excuses. Let others keep waiting for motivation. Let others stay asleep to their potential, but not you, not today. Today you wake up. Today you choose to begin. You don't have to know how the entire journey will unfold. Just know that it starts with one bold move. This moment is your launch pad. This moment is your turning point. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It doesn't need to be loud. But it does need to be real. Make that promise to yourself and keep it. So stand up. Shake off the fear. Silence the doubts. You've got everything you need inside of you to begin. You've got a fire in your soul and a dream in your heart. Don't let it die in the waiting room of your life. Start now. Step forward even if your voice shakes. Step forward even if the path is unclear, because nothing changes until you do. And when you start, really start, the universe responds. Doors begin to open. Strength begins to rise, and you begin to become the person you were always meant to be. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time asterisk if you start now. Asterisk 6 months of discipline can change everything. That may sound like an exaggeration to some, but for those who understand the power of consistent effort, it's a life-altering truth. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It is not glamorous, and it is not always exciting, but it is the foundation of all lasting success. When you commit to showing up every single day for 6 months with focus, energy, and intention, you give yourself the greatest gift imaginable: transformation. Not temporary change, not surface-level improvement, but deep, undeniable, and lasting growth. Discipline is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about honoring your commitment. It's about doing what you said you would do even when you don't feel like it. Feelings are fleeting. Some days motivation will be high and everything will feel easy. Other days it will be a battle just to get out of bed. But discipline doesn't depend on how you feel, it depends on how much you want what you say you want. It's easy to make promises when you're inspired. The real test is whether you keep those promises when you're tired, frustrated, or discouraged. That's when discipline steps in and says, we're doing this anyway. 6 months is not a lifetime. It's not even a full year. But it's enough time to build momentum, to create new habits, to completely shift the trajectory of your life. Imagine what could happen if for 6 months you gave up excuses and focused only on progress. Imagine if you trained your body, read books that challenged you, invested in your mind, surrounded yourself with people who uplifted you, and eliminated the distractions that kept pulling you back. Imagine waking up every morning knowing you were living with purpose. Imagine going to bed each night feeling proud of how you showed up that day. That is the power of 6 months of discipline. It won't be easy. Nothing worthwhile ever is. There will be days when you want to quit. There will be moments when it feels like your efforts aren't paying off, but they are. Discipline works in silence before it shows in public. Every workout that no one sees, every late night study session, every early morning grind, it's all building something bigger than the moment. It's building asterisk you asterisk, the version of yourself who doesn't give up, the version who keeps their word, the version who is no longer controlled by mood swings or procrastination, the version who understands that growth takes time and effort, but it's always worth it. Too many people start something and give up too soon because they don't see instant results. But discipline teaches you patience. It teaches you that greatness isn't built overnight, that muscles, businesses, careers, relationships, and mindsets are forged in the fire of repetition. You won't see change in a day, but in a week you'll feel it. In a month, others will start to notice. In 3 months, your world begins to shift. And in 6 months, you'll look back and barely recognize the person you used to be. That's the reward of discipline, not just what you achieve, but who you become along the way. Discipline sharpens your mind. It gives you mental toughness. It makes you resilient in the face of adversity. When life throws obstacles in your way, a disciplined person doesn't crumble, they adapt. They adjust their pace, but never their purpose. They understand that pain is part of the process, but quitting is not an option. With discipline, you don't just survive challenges, you grow through them. You come out stronger, wiser, and more capable. 6 months of showing up, of pushing through, of refusing to give up can make you unstoppable. And here's the truth, most people won't do it. Most people will try, then stop. They'll start with energy, but fall off when it gets hard. But you're not most people. You're not here to live an average life. You're here to grow, to rise, to lead, to build something meaningful. If you commit to 6 months of discipline, you'll separate yourself from the crowd. Not because you're better, but because you're more consistent. Because you choose to stay when others walk away. Because you show up on the days it's hardest, and that's what makes the biggest difference. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for permission. Make the decision now that for the next 6 months you are going all in. Not halfway, not when it's convenient. Every day, whether it's sunny or stormy, whether you're excited or exhausted, show up. Push yourself. Stay focused. Remind yourself why you started. Keep your eyes on the vision, and let discipline carry you through the doubts and distractions. There will be setbacks, but discipline helps you get back up. There will be temptations, but discipline keeps your values in front of your desires. There will be noise and pressure, but discipline helps you hear your inner voice louder than the world. 6 months, that's all, not a lifetime, not forever. Just half a year of focused, deliberate, purposeful effort. And what you'll gain in return isn't just results, it's self-respect, it's pride, it's momentum. And once you taste that feeling of becoming who you're meant to be, you'll never want to go back. The sacrifices will be worth it. The discomfort will become strength. The struggle will become your story. So commit to the discipline, embrace the process, and watch your life transform before your eyes. Persistence over perfection, this simple principle holds the power to shift your entire mindset and unlock your greatest potential. Too many people get trapped in the idea that everything must be flawless before they can move forward. They hesitate, overthink, and often give up altogether when things don't go exactly as planned. But the truth is, perfection is a myth. It doesn't exist. It's a moving target that constantly shifts, no matter how hard you try to hit it. And if you're waiting for everything to be perfect before you take action, you'll be waiting forever. That's why persistence is the key. Because success doesn't go to the most talented, the most gifted, or even the smartest, it goes to the one who refuses to quit. Perfection tells you that you're not ready. Persistence says, start anyway. Perfection tells you to compare yourself to others. Persistence reminds you to compete only with the person you were yesterday. Perfection paralyzes progress. Persistence fuels it. When you value persistence over perfection, you free yourself from the fear of failure. You give yourself permission to try, to learn, to make mistakes, and most importantly, to keep going. You begin to realize that failure is not a sign you're not good enough. It's proof that you're growing. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. Every obstacle becomes part of your training. Every imperfect step forward is still progress. The road to success is never a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, ups, downs, and detours. If you expect every step to be perfect, you'll be disappointed at every turn. But if you decide from the very beginning that you will stay the course no matter what, then nothing can stop you. Persistence is what gets you up when life knocks you down. It's what helps you move forward when the path is unclear. It's what keeps your dream alive when everything around you is telling you to quit. And that's where true transformation happens, not in the perfect plan, but in the relentless pursuit. When you commit to persistence, you no longer fear failure. Instead, you see it as feedback. You begin to understand that every great achievement is built on a mountain of failed attempts. Look at any successful person, and you'll find a story of persistence. You'll find moments where they could have walked away but didn't. You'll find days when they wanted to quit but chose to continue, and that choice to keep going made all the difference. The winners in life are not the ones who never fall. They're the ones who fall and rise again and again. Persistence builds character. It shapes your mindset. It strengthens your will. Each day you push forward, even when it's difficult. You prove something powerful to yourself, that you are capable of more than you thought. You learn to trust your own grit, your own strength. You stop waiting for ideal circumstances and start creating progress in the middle of chaos. You stop chasing perfect moments and start building powerful habits. Progress becomes your measure of success, not flawlessness. And over time, you realize that showing up imperfectly is better than not showing up at all. Think about it. How many dreams have died because someone gave up too soon? How many ideas were never brought to life because the fear of getting it wrong was louder than the desire to grow? You don't have to be perfect to make a difference. You don't have to have it all figured out to begin. What matters most is that you keep showing up, day after day, step after step. Whether it's messy, uncertain, or unfinished, keep showing up. That's where growth lies. That's where confidence is built. Not in waiting, but in doing. You might stumble, you might fall, you might make mistakes, but as long as you rise, as long as you learn, as long as you move forward, you are winning. Each time you push through resistance, you're building resilience. Each time you push past self-doubt, you're building confidence. Each time you continue despite imperfection, you're proving to yourself that you are not here to be perfect, you are here to be powerful. There is freedom in persistence. It allows you to be human. It allows you to evolve. It allows you to grow without shame or guilt for not having it all together. It lets you embrace the process, to trust the journey, to celebrate progress instead of punishing yourself for imperfections. That kind of mindset can change everything, because when you let go of the need to be perfect, you become unstoppable. You become someone who adapts, who improves, who keeps moving forward no matter what. So if you're waiting until you have the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect skills, stop waiting. Choose persistence. Start now, start messy, start scared but start, and then keep going. Keep pushing, keep learning, keep building. Let others chase perfection while you build progress. Let others freeze in fear while you rise in faith. The world doesn't need perfect people, it needs persistent ones. It needs people who keep showing up when it's hard, when it's uncertain, when it's uncomfortable. Your journey will not be perfect. It will be filled with mistakes, failures, delays, and setbacks, but it will also be filled with breakthroughs, lessons, victories, and strength. That is the reward of persistence. That is the power of refusing to quit. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep going. Because the person who keeps going, no matter what, is the one who reaches the goal. And when you look back, you won't remember the perfect days. You'll remember the hard days, the tough days, the days you almost gave up and didn't. And you'll be proud. So keep going. Stay persistent. That's how you win. Small steps lead to big changes. It's a truth that many people overlook because they're so focused on the big picture, the grand outcome, the ultimate goal. They want the transformation, the breakthrough, the success, and they want it fast. But real change, meaningful growth, doesn't come all at once. It comes from the little things you do every day, the habits you build, the choices you make, the discipline you apply. Every great achievement you admire was once just a tiny step taken by someone who refused to give up. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something consistently. When you understand the power of small steps, you stop being overwhelmed by how far you have to go. You stop staring at the mountain and start focusing on the next foothold. You begin to realize that progress is not about leaps and bounds, it's about inches, about effort, about intention. Each small action, no matter how insignificant it seems in the moment, is a brick in the foundation of your success. That 5-minute workout, that 10 pages you read, that one healthy meal, that deep breath instead of reacting in anger, it all matters. because change is not created in one explosive moment of inspiration. It's created in the quiet consistency of daily choices. People often wait for a big burst of motivation to change their lives. They wait to feel ready, to feel energized, to feel inspired. But the truth is, motivation is temporary. It's a spark, it's useful, but it fades. What lasts is the habit of taking small, meaningful steps, even when you don't feel like it. Those little steps are what carry you through the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. And with time, those steps become your new normal. They become part of who you are. That's when real transformation begins, when the small things you once had to force yourself to do become the things you can't imagine skipping. Big changes are built on small disciplines. If you want to get stronger, it starts with showing up to exercise today, not waiting for the perfect workout plan. If you want to build a business, it starts with making that first call, writing that first idea down, taking that first risk, not waiting until you feel 100% ready. If you want to improve your mindset, it starts with choosing better thoughts today, feeding your mind with positivity and wisdom, one moment at a time. You can't fix everything in one day. You can't master everything in a week. But you can move forward, and that forward motion, no matter how small, compounds over time. It's like planting a seed. You don't see the tree the next day. You don't see the fruit for a long time. But if you keep watering it, nurturing it, protecting it, eventually something incredible grows. That's how progress works. The results may not show up immediately, but something is always happening beneath the surface. The habits you build in private eventually show up in public. The time you invest in growth eventually produces rewards. And those rewards don't just show up in what you achieve, they show up in who you become. You become someone who doesn't quit, someone who takes ownership, someone who values the process, someone who understands that big wins are nothing more than small wins stacked up over time. That mindset makes you powerful. Because now, no step feels too small to matter. Now you know that even on the toughest days, you can still move forward. You can still do something. You can still grow. And when you believe in the power of small steps, you eliminate excuses. You no longer say, "I don't have time," because you know 5 minutes can make a difference. You no longer say, "It won't matter," because you know everything matters. Think about how habits are formed. Not through intensity, but through repetition. Brushing your teeth, drinking water, making your bed, these are small things you do regularly that shape your life more than you realize. The same principle applies to everything else. Want to get in shape, one workout at a time. Want to become more disciplined, one choice at a time. Want to build confidence, one courageous step at a time. There are no shortcuts, no hacks, just effort repeated daily. And when you stay consistent with those efforts, the results will come. Small steps also teach you patience. In a world that wants everything instantly, patience is a superpower. When you commit to the journey and embrace each step, you stop obsessing over the finish line. You learn to appreciate progress. You learn to celebrate effort. You learn to trust the process, and that trust gives you peace, because you're no longer in a rush. You're no longer chasing outcomes. You're building something sustainable, something real, something lasting. So if the road ahead feels long, don't let it paralyze you. Just take the next step. Don't worry about being fast. Focus on being faithful. Don't stress about how far you have to go. Focus on how far you've already come. Every step counts. Every effort matters. Every single day that you show up, you are getting closer to your goal. Even when it doesn't feel like it, progress is being made. Even when no one sees it, growth is happening. Keep moving, keep building, keep believing. One day, you'll look back and realize that the small steps you took were actually the big steps. You'll realize that the discipline you applied day after day created a life that once seemed out of reach. And in that moment, you'll be proud not just of what you achieved, but of how you got there. One small step at a time. That is the path. That is the process. And that is how you change your life. Consistency beats intensity. This is one of the most powerful truths in life, and it applies to every area. Your goals, your health, your relationships, your personal growth, and your career. Most people believe that achieving great results requires massive effort all at once. that big wins come from bursts of intense action. But that belief leads to burnout, disappointment, and a cycle of starting and stopping. The real secret to lasting success isn't in how hard you go for one day, it's in how often you show up. It's not about being amazing once. It's about being consistent every single day. Think about it. What's more effective? Working out for 5 hours one day and then doing nothing for a month, or exercising for 30 minutes every day? What builds more strength, more endurance, more results? It's the consistent action. The same principle applies to everything in life. Reading 10 pages a day will teach you more in a year than trying to read one whole book in a single sitting and then not picking one up again for months. Writing one paragraph a day will get you further than trying to write a whole novel in a weekend. Why? Because consistency builds momentum. It creates habits. It becomes part of who you are. Intensity can be exciting. It feels powerful in the moment. It makes you feel like you're doing something extraordinary. But the danger of intensity is that it's usually short-lived. It depends on emotion, on energy, on inspiration. But those things fade. No one wakes up every day feeling inspired. No one feels motivated all the time. Life gets busy, things get hard, your energy drops, and if your success depends on intensity, you'll stop the moment your circumstances change. But if you've built consistency, you'll keep going, no matter what. Consistency is quiet, it's not flashy, it doesn't get the same attention as dramatic effort, but over time it wins because it builds trust within yourself and with others. When you're consistent, you prove that you can be counted on. You prove to yourself that your word means something, that you follow through, that you don't just talk about your goals. You live them, and that kind of self-trust is priceless. It builds confidence. It builds character. It builds inner strength that can't be shaken. People often give up because they don't see results fast enough. But consistency teaches you patience. It reminds you that the goal is not instant gratification. It's long-term growth. And growth is often invisible before it becomes obvious. You may not see it after a day. You may not even feel it after a week. But keep going. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. The change is happening, even if you can't see it yet. Roots grow underground before the tree breaks the surface. Progress builds in silence before it shows up in your results. Being consistent doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you stay in motion. You don't quit after a bad day. You don't give up because you missed one workout or made one mistake. You get back up, you return to the habit, you honor the commitment. That's what separates the successful from the average. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's the willingness to keep going even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. Because you know that greatness is not built in a single moment of intensity. It's built in the daily decision to keep moving forward. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. Like interest in a bank account, small actions repeated over time create massive returns. What seems like a small effort today becomes something powerful tomorrow. One healthy meal leads to a week of clean eating. 1 hour of focus leads to a month of productivity. One moment of courage leads to a habit of confidence. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do something every day. That's how you build habits. That's how you create change. That's how you transform your life. And here's the truth. Most people won't be consistent. They'll start strong and fade fast. They'll chase the high of intensity and burn out. But not you. You're choosing a different path. You're choosing to be steady, to be committed, to be unshakable, because you know that small, consistent steps will take you further than short bursts of intensity ever could. You know that success is a lifestyle, not an event, and that means showing up even when you don't feel like it, doing the work even when it's inconvenient, sticking with it even when progress feels slow. Consistency builds discipline, it builds structure, it creates a rhythm for your life, and that rhythm gives you control. You're no longer reacting to life. You're designing it, one choice at a time, one day at a time. And over time, those choices add up. They shape your results. They shape your mindset. They shape your future. So if you want to change your life, stop waiting for the perfect time to go all in. Stop chasing intensity. Start building consistency. Decide what matters. Start small. Stay committed. Be patient. And never underestimate the power of showing up every single day. Because in the end, it's not the loudest or the fastest who win, it's the most consistent. Keep showing up. That's where the power is. That's where the change happens. That's how you win. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's the silent force that turns dreams into reality, the invisible thread that ties your intention to your results. Without discipline, even the most brilliant goals stay stuck in the realm of imagination. With discipline, even the most difficult goals become possible. Discipline is not something you're born with, it's something you develop, one decision at a time. It's not about being perfect or rigid. It's about being focused, committed, and determined, especially on the days when motivation disappears and distractions scream louder than your dreams. When you decide to build discipline into your life, you stop relying on mood and emotion to drive your actions. You stop asking yourself how you feel and start reminding yourself what you're committed to. Feelings are fleeting, but discipline is consistent. You don't wait to feel inspired to get up early, work hard, eat healthy, or chase your goals. You get up because it's what you said you'd do. You put in the work because it's who you're becoming. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. That mindset separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. People often confuse discipline with restriction, but the truth is, discipline is freedom. It frees you from regret. It frees you from chaos. It frees you from the constant back and forth of indecision and inconsistency. When you are disciplined, your path becomes clearer. You know what to say yes to and what to say no to. You stop wasting time on things that don't align with your vision. You begin to act with purpose. Discipline brings structure to your day, clarity to your goals, and power to your progress. Without it, even the best intentions fall apart. Discipline is built through repetition, not inspiration. It's the habit of following through. It's waking up early when you want to sleep in. It's going to the gym when your body says no. It's choosing water over soda, focus over distraction, progress over comfort. Every time you make a disciplined choice, you reinforce the belief that you are in control, that you don't have to be ruled by laziness or excuses, that you can shape your life, not just wish for change. And as you strengthen that discipline muscle, things that once felt hard become easier. You become stronger than your excuses. Discipline doesn't always produce instant results, and that's where many people give up. They expect quick wins and fast progress, but discipline is about the long game. It's about staying the course even when results are invisible, even when the process is slow, even when the road gets tough. Because you know that every disciplined step is getting you closer to the breakthrough, the person with discipline keeps moving forward, while others quit and start over again and again. And over time, that steady movement, that daily commitment, compounds into something extraordinary. It's not easy to be disciplined in a world that constantly encourages comfort and convenience. Everything around you pushes you to choose ease, to take shortcuts, to indulge in the now rather than invest in the future. But you must rise above that noise. You must remind yourself of what you want most, not just what you want now. Discipline is choosing your vision over your cravings, your potential over your impulses, your purpose over your mood. It's not about punishing yourself, it's about honoring yourself, respecting your future, and living with intention. There will be days when you want to quit, days when nothing feels like it's working, days when giving in feels easier than pushing through. But those are the days that define you. Those are the moments when discipline matters most. It's easy to be committed when everything is going well. But real growth happens when you stay committed when things get hard. When you say yes to discipline in the face of difficulty, you become unstoppable. You build resilience, you build toughness, and you build a mindset that refuses to be defeated. You don't need to be extreme, you just need to be consistent. Discipline doesn't mean you never rest or relax. It means you prioritize what matters. It means you keep showing up, even if it's in small ways. It means you keep your word to yourself, because when you break promises to yourself, you lose trust. But when you stay disciplined, even in small things, you rebuild that trust. You show yourself that you're reliable, that you're committed, that you can count on yourself. And that belief changes everything. The beauty of discipline is that it spills into every area of your life. When you start applying it in one area, like your fitness, your finances, Your focus. It starts to affect other areas too. You begin to carry yourself differently. You make better decisions. You raise your standards. You stop tolerating excuses. You start acting like the person you want to become. Discipline is the daily decision to be better, to do better, to live better. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful, and over time it becomes who you are. So if you want to transform your life in 6 months, don't just chase goals. Build discipline, decide what matters most, set clear, simple commitments. Follow through even when it's hard. Show up daily even when you're tired. Stay focused even when distractions tempt you. Choose growth over comfort. And most of all, remember that you are capable of so much more than you think, if you're willing to be disciplined. Because while motivation may start the journey, it's discipline that finishes it, and finishing is what changes everything. Failure is not the end, it's a lesson. This truth, when fully embraced, can completely transform the way you live, grow, and pursue success. Most people fear failure. They see it as something to avoid, something shameful, something that marks them as incapable or unworthy. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every person who has ever accomplished something great has faced failure, and often many times. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful is not that they never failed. It's that they learned from their failures, used them to grow, and refused to let those setbacks define them. When you fail, you are given one of life's greatest gifts, feedback. Failure shows you what doesn't work. It reveals gaps in your strategy, weaknesses in your mindset, and areas where you need to grow. It teaches you more than success ever could. Success can be deceiving. It can make you complacent. But failure humbles you. It forces you to reflect, to ask hard questions, to dig deeper into yourself. And through that reflection comes wisdom, strength, and clarity. You start to see failure not as punishment, but as a teacher, one that is tough but fair. Think about every major invention, every historic achievement, every business empire, every champion in sports. Behind each one is a trail of failures, rejections, and mistakes. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before he succeeded in creating the light bulb. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. What all these individuals had in common was their refusal to let failure be final. They didn't stop, they didn't shrink, they learned, adapted, and grew stronger with each setback. Failure also reveals character. It strips away the illusion and shows you who you really are. Will you give up, or will you fight? Will you let fear control you, or will you move forward with courage? Will you dwell on the loss, or will you extract the lesson? These are the defining moments. It's easy to stay committed when everything is working. But when things fall apart, when plans fail, when effort doesn't pay off immediately, that's when true growth begins. If you're willing to lean into those moments, to face the discomfort, to own your mistakes without shame, you will rise. Stronger, wiser, better. There is a mindset shift that must happen if you want to use failure to your advantage. You must stop seeing failure as something that defines you and start seeing it as something that refines you. You are not your failures. Your worth is not determined by your results. Failure is an event, not an identity. When you understand that, you give yourself permission to try, to risk, to create, to push boundaries. You stop playing small because you're no longer afraid of falling. You know that even if you fall, you'll get back up. And every time you rise a little stronger than before. The most successful people don't avoid failure. They embrace it. They understand that the road to mastery, greatness, and impact is paved with setbacks. They expect resistance. They know growth requires discomfort. And they use failure as fuel. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," they say, "I'm learning." That mindset shift is everything. It's the difference between being paralyzed by fear and being propelled by resilience. In a 6-month transformation plan, you will face moments of failure. You might miss a workout. You might eat something you said you wouldn't. You might procrastinate. You might launch something that doesn't take off. That's normal. That's part of the process. What matters most is how you respond. Do you use that moment as an excuse to quit, or as a reason to recommit? Do you spiral into self-doubt, or do you rise with a deeper understanding of what needs to change? Every failure gives you a chance to choose growth over defeat. There's a beautiful thing that happens when you stop fearing failure. You start taking bold action. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop second guessing yourself. You move forward with courage, knowing that even if you fall, you'll learn something valuable. You understand that progress is messy, success is not linear, and growth is never comfortable, but it's worth it. Every stumble builds your strength. Every mistake teaches you something. Every failure shapes your future. The goal is not to live a life without failure. The goal is to build the strength to fail and keep going, to fail with grace, to fail with wisdom, to fail forward, because if you're failing, it means you're trying. It means you're in the arena. It means you're stretching your limits. And that's where growth lies. That's where transformation happens. Not in the safety of your comfort zone, but in the discomfort of challenge. So let go of the fear, let go of the shame, embrace failure as part of the journey, let it teach you, let it build you, let it shape you into someone more focused, more courageous, more resilient. Every great story has chapters of struggle. Let your setbacks become setups for your comeback. Learn from the fall, stand back up, keep moving, because failure is not the end. It's just another step on the path to your greatness. Your environment shapes your destiny. The people you surround yourself with, the voices you listen to, the places you spend your time, and the content you consume all play a powerful role in shaping your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and ultimately your actions. You may think you are strong enough to rise above your surroundings, but the truth is, no one is immune to the influence of their environment. If you want to transform your life in 6 months, you must take full responsibility for the atmosphere you allow yourself to live in. Because your environment can either lift you up or pull you down, it can feed your dreams or suffocate them. It can encourage your discipline or distract you from your purpose. Look around you. Who are you spending the most time with? Are they building you or breaking you? Do they speak life into your goals or do they mock your ambition? Are they challenging you to grow or are they comfortable with you staying small? The people in your life are either pushing you closer to your destiny or pulling you further from it. Energy is contagious. If you're constantly around negative, lazy, complaining, fear-driven people, their mindset will eventually rub off on you. Even if you start out motivated and disciplined, being surrounded by mediocrity will begin to dull your fire. On the other hand, if you're around driven, positive, focused people who believe in growth, their energy will elevate you. You'll start thinking bigger, working harder, and believing more. The right circle doesn't just support your vision, they fuel it. Your physical environment also plays a crucial role. Your home, your workspace, your car. These spaces are either helping you stay focused and inspired or making you feel stuck and overwhelmed. A cluttered space leads to a cluttered mind. A chaotic environment leads to chaotic results. But when you intentionally design your space for clarity and calm, you create a foundation for high performance. Make your space a reflection of your goals. Put up words, images, or reminders that reflect who you're becoming. Get rid of distractions, organize your tools, build a space where you can think clearly, work effectively, and rest deeply. Then there's your digital environment, the things you scroll through, the content you watch, the voices you hear online. Every piece of information you consume becomes part of your mental diet. Just like junk food damages your body, junk content damages your mindset. If you're constantly feeding your mind with fear, gossip, anger, or negativity, don't be surprised when your motivation disappears and your clarity vanishes. Be intentional with what you consume. Choose content that educates you, inspires you, and challenges you to be better. Fill your mind with truth, wisdom, and possibility. Protect your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. You also have to consider the habits and routines that your environment reinforces. Does your space encourage discipline or distraction? Is your phone next to your bed, inviting you to scroll late at night? Is your fridge stocked with junk food that tempts you to break your health goals? Is your schedule full of unproductive meetings or mindless activities? These little things add up. To create lasting transformation, you have to build an environment that supports your best self. That means making hard decisions. Removing things, or even people, that no longer serve your purpose. Saying no to comfort so you can say yes to growth. Choosing alignment over attachment. Changing your environment may feel uncomfortable. You may have to distance yourself from people you love. You may have to leave spaces that hold memories. You may have to let go of habits that once brought you comfort. But remember this, Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep surrounding yourself with the same influences, you will keep getting the same results. Growth requires courage. It requires making decisions that protect your peace, your focus, and your future. You can't expect to transform your life while living in an environment that constantly triggers your old self. One of the most empowering steps you can take is to deliberately design your environment to reflect the person you want to become, not the person you've been. If you want to be disciplined, build a space that supports routine and removes distraction. If you want to be healthy, fill your kitchen with nutritious options and remove the temptations. If you want to grow your business, surround yourself with people who are building and creating, not complaining and waiting. Set yourself up for success by setting up your surroundings with purpose. And remember, this is not about perfection, it's about direction. You don't have to fix everything at once. Start small, clean up one room, unfollow negative accounts, say no to one unproductive invitation, spend more time with one inspiring person. As you begin to shift your environment, you'll feel your energy change. You'll think more clearly, you'll act more intentionally, you'll start to move in the direction of your vision, because your environment will finally be aligned with your goals. The truth is, motivation will come and go. Discipline will grow stronger over time, but your environment is always working, either for you or against you. So take control of it, build it with vision, protect it with boundaries, fill it with excellence. Because once your environment is aligned with your purpose, everything else becomes easier. Progress flows, growth accelerates, distractions fade, and you finally give yourself the space you need to become everything you're capable of being. That's how you win. That's how you transform your life. One decision, one space, one boundary at a time. Transforming your life in 6 months is not just about setting goals or hoping for change. It's about taking intentional, consistent action every single day. It requires commitment, discipline, and a willingness to face challenges head on. You must embrace failure as a teacher, build resilience through persistence, and surround yourself with an environment that supports your highest vision. Change doesn't happen overnight, but when you decide to take control of your habits, your mindset, and your surroundings, you create the conditions for unstoppable growth. Remember, the power to change your life lies within you. One choice, one action, and one moment at a time. So start now, stay focused, and watch as your transformation unfolds into the life you've always dreamed of living.